Yo guys, what is going on? Welcome back to another video on our Clips channel. Today we actually are going to post a video that a lot of you guys have been wanting to see or start seeing more of, which is stock market related things. First of all, I don't condone any of this, okay? If you guys take any kind of advice or anything, all right, and you lose money, this is not my fault. This is more just advice, guys, and more just talking about some things that I'm looking at, some things that I've done. And stuff like that. We are going to have a video in the beginning of January where we'll do a year in review. I will take you guys through my portfolio this last year, what I have done right, what I have done wrong, and what were the big wins. So yeah, what we're going to talk about today is a couple of things that I'm looking at with this market, what to expect, and just things like that, man. It's going to be not any kind of like specifically ordered video, just going to be kind of, I've got something on my phone up right now that I'm going to be going through some things with you guys of some companies that I'm really looking at. So when we take a look at the market today, it is very high right now, guys. We are riding a number that is huge, man. If we go to a market summary right now, although this site is going to be all over me, we're probably going to chill here for a second. The Dow Jones Industrial Average is very high, guys. We're looking at almost like an all-time high number. This is the pre-COVID number, where we're at 30K almost. Now, 30K is the barometer for me of when the market is at its highest. We haven't broken over that 31 mark yet. I use this as a value to kind of look at the rest of the market. I do think we will break over that number at a certain point, but right now, obviously, we're going through a second wave worldwide of the pandemic. However, the market is not taking as much of a plunge of it because we're supposed to be getting vaccines and a couple of vaccines very soon and very accessibly, it seems like. So the market is reacting in a way to that that's not panicked. Nobody's panicked on the market, and it's actually funny because if we take a look at a lot of retail right now, retail is doing really well. There's a lot of retail stocks that are starting to do very well, whether you look between like Target or you're even looking at some other types of stocks that are retail related. Some retail is doing very well right now. Today is a day that we're seeing a lot of stocks do well, just generally. Something that's been doing really well the last couple weeks has been banks. I own JP Morgan, I own Goldman Sachs, and I own Morgan Stanley and Bank of America. Banks have been doing really well the last couple weeks. This is something that has made me a lot of money recently. And it's just because of investing at the right time, right? Morgan Stanley's I had a big strike hit, and I don't do options trades. I just do stocks, guys. I'm not a day trader. Had a lot of buy-ins with this at 46, but I want to go through, talk about a couple of companies with you guys that I'm still really interested in, I guess this week, and buy prices maybe for them. So yeah, we're going to go through all that stuff, guys. I also want to pull up, if I can, in another window real quick. How would I do this, guys? Give me one sec. I'm going to go just to this real quick and pull up this other forecast with you guys. So yeah, we're going to talk about a couple other stocks though right now, guys. The first stock that I want to talk about with you guys is going to be Netflix. Netflix is a stock that I'm really interested in and I actually don't own right now. I actually just added it to my ownings. And this will be interesting. This will be interesting, guys, to see what happens. Now, Netflix, for me, is super interesting this week and upcoming because of a couple things, right? We're in a scenario where another wave is starting, as I said, and it would be a wave that would, I think, increase viewership of a platform like this, revenue of a platform like this, with more people at home. Now, something that's really interesting with this, and these are just kind of trends that you can kind of identify. Netflix has been kind of ranging between this 460, 470, and 550 range a lot. You guys can see about every 2 or 3 months it kind of happens, right? 470, 550. So we're kind of looking to see if that's going to happen again. So this is sort of worth the gamble, I would say, just because they've been doing very well, and it also looks like it's a possibility that we could get that bounce back again to happen, right? And that would be a nice little flip. So this is just something that I'm interested in. If we take a look at CNN forecast, this is not always something that I really think is accurate. Obviously, I don't think a 235 low is going to be good. A lot of people saying buy or hold with this stock. Don't do what the popular is doing, but I really think this stock has a chance to grow in value. Again, I might not be correct here. but I think it's got a shot, and it's something that I'm really looking at. So yeah, that's something that I'm really looking at. I'm just trying to give you guys some things that I'm definitely curious in, upcoming. I think that these guys are ones that are on my watch list, for sure. There's two other companies that I'm really interested in. Rocket is really interesting. Rocket is a company that I think, they just had their IPO like pretty recently. They've never really gone too high yet. But again, it's a company that I think is super undervalued. And you guys can see here, we kind of have these waves happening. And I think if this rocket gets under like 19 or 18, I really like it. I think it's a 23 to 30 all day. So we'll kind of see. And I'm pretty sure, I'm not 100%, like don't quote me on this, but I think the other week they actually had beat their earnings. So that's something as well that I'm definitely interested in. We take a look at this right here. So right here, they're there. And then we take a look at the forecast for these guys. 19 is the low. So a lot of people think that this is a buy or hold, and then it's going to go up. So something to consider as well. I also think just generally with the market, I do some funds and some averaging into those. I'm going to be waiting. I think the next time the Dow drops probably 26, 27, I'll be ready to kind of put some more money into the funds that I'm curious in. That's going to be something that I'm very interested in as well. So just taking a look at that. A company that is doing really well right now is Zillow. And right now that's because a lot of people surprisingly are buying houses. So real estate is really popular right now. Now this hit an all-time high at 111, but I think if we get some sort of downward motion back to 105 to 100, I like it. I think this has the opportunity to break out to 120. They did very well in their last earnings. This is something that I've got my eyes on big time. This is a company that I really like. I don't own it yet, but it's something that I'm very curious to see. Amazon is probably like Amazon is one of my most traded stocks. I love Amazon. I think it's unbelievable, this company. I love them. I got my initial investment in. I have about 20 to 25 shares at 1.4 thousand. I've only taken 2 shares of a sale at 3.5. Hit 3.5. 3.5 seems to be the peak for this right now. Will it be the peak for it forever? No, absolutely not. But what I can tell you guys about Amazon is that it trades in a nice freaking range between 3.05 and 3.3. So I love when Amazon goes to around 3 flat. It's always a buy in my opinion, because Amazon is just too good of a company to drop. Now, there's a couple stocks that if we ever get another crash that I would really just invest into. Go Tech. If any of these guys that drop, if we get the next crash, whenever that is, I don't know when that's going to be. It's impossible to predict if there is even going to be one. But again, I would be looking at Amazon, Apple, these really reliable, popular companies. If they drop at all during the next kind of crash, that's something that I would be super interested in. I think there's a big opportunity for a lot of these kind of retail / events companies to, for example, I would say a stock that I have somebody that's really all in about is this Madison Square Garden. This is obviously where the Madison Square Garden is where the Knicks play, the Rangers play. It's a big thing in New York City, but it's an example of a stadium sort of thing, right? Pre-COVID, they're like 230. So this is something that I think this stuff all, once we get the kind of the green light from COVID, this stuff all has the real potential to kind of do really well. So just keep your eyes on this sort of stuff. Another company that I really like is Alibaba. This company ranges a lot. Now, I had an initial at 220. I sold at 300, and then I just bought back in the other week at 255. I think the low was 252. So I bought back in at 252, 255. It's back to 276. Alibaba is just a really consistent company. They're pretty much from somebody that I know, the Amazon of Asia. They just do amazing business over there. They're one of the, I think they're the only company there. I like this a lot, man. This is a company that I think does really well. I'm also not trying to get into super technical terms with everybody watching this video, because I know that I'm not a person that everybody is watching for those technical terms. It's more just understanding a little bit of just kind of information. But dude, Alibaba, I think is such a company that could explode at some point. And that's why I had to buy back in. I just think it's such a company that is really low, man. I think that company is going to do really well. But I don't know exactly what happened to drop it the last time it dropped. But you can see here that we got up to here, and we didn't really have resistance here, man. Once we got to this point, it just seemed like everybody wanted to go up on it. there was not much resistance with the downwards with it, and there really hasn't been too much resistance, man. Every time this thing drops, it goes right back up. So we got up to a high here of like, I think it was 315. So still, still room to grow, although the stock is up like 2 to 3% today. So again, we'll have to watch that. A stock that I also really like, Twitter, man. I think Twitter is really undervalued. Twitter was going really high the other week. They got up to like 53. Everybody was expecting some earnings. Got down to 37, 38. I just bought more the other day at 43. My initial investment with this company is 33. 33 to 30, somewhere in there. So again, I haven't even sold any of that, but I just like the company. I think it will continue to grow. So this is one again that I'm super interested in, and I think is doing really well. Another stock that I think is really interesting to me, that's a really stable and steady stock. There's two that I'm about to show you guys. Wendy's is the first one. Wendy's is a fast food company in America, but I think Wendy's is really consistent, and I like them. They also pay a really nice dividend, so I think dividends are super important with market. They pay a really good dividend. So Wendy's is something that I think I bought in a lot of Wendy's at 21.5. They got up to 25 the other day, 24. But they're really consistent, and they have this. They have a lot of good stuff, man. They have a really good like burger on the menu right now. They're a company that's really consistent. So if you're looking for something a little bit more safe, that's something that I like a lot. I also like Coca-Cola a lot. Coca-Cola has just been growing. They were 58 pre-COVID, but they've just been growing, man. And I think I bought in at this at 46. They just pay a dividend that's really nice. Coca-Cola is always going to be around, and I think for that reason, I like them, man. They pay a dividend. They're always going to be around, and I think they just have such consistent growth, and that's something that I really like. Their consistency and growth is incredible. So I'm really interested in Coca-Cola, and I think it's going to be really interesting to see. The last real big prediction I had was that the market will go up if Biden won the election. It has gone up a lot because of that. A lot of people have bought into the market because of that reason. I think also people are buying into the market for the reason that we are having some positivity via the COVID. And I do think there's a lot of room for this market to grow if COVID, downplays next year. I think COVID is always going to be around, but I think if we can get out of this COVID by May, we could see a really high market next summer. That is something that is really possible. I mean, we're talking like Dow at 35, 36. We're talking all-time high market. We've got more people than ever in this stock market these days. There's a lot of money in this market. So it's just about identifying these panic windows. I do think we're going to have one other crazy panic window. So just with some of these stocks that I mentioned today, guys, I would say just take a look at the Dow. That's the big number that I would be looking for. The next time to probably put in some money or just kind of invest is hopefully when this is around 26 to 27.5. I don't think we're ever going to get back for a long time to this crash number here. But again, there's still dips, and there's dips in the market. You guys can see we got up to 29, went back to 26, 26 to 29. I mean, it happens, bro. There's dips. So just watch the dips, and don't be afraid to buy the dip, man. Don't be afraid. We'll have more of these videos, guys. If you liked the video today, drop a thumbs up. Just some information that I'm looking at. Thanks for watching, guys. I'll see you guys later. Bye-bye.